Hello everyone, this is Dutch Lux. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my vlog. On today's vlog we are going to be looking at the tools needed to do challenge locks or make challenge locks and even your own picks. Now the first tool that is pretty much essential in this process, which I found through trial and error, is one of these, usually known as a Dremel, but it's just a rotary tool with, at the minute it's got an engraving piece in the end. But in order to make your own pins and to do them as neat as possible and as crisp as possible, you will need a Dremel. Secondly, which most of us have, but it goes without saying really, you need a set of screwdrivers of varying sizes, flatheads and posi drive. Also some Allen screws or Allen keys, essential, excuse me. And then as far as challenge locks go, you will need a lock disassembly kit. Now this is a hook one. This is the one that I've seen most commonly in other videos that I've seen, and to be honest, this is a banging set. I think I paid £35 for this, and you get everything you need. I've just added a little torch because it works perfectly as a follower. In fact, I've got some here. There's a lock that I took apart, and this is before I started using shims, so this one fell apart, but I'll give you an example. So this one's still got a few screws in this Yale, so sorry, I'll put that straight everyone. So that's how this would work, and you can see there, you can see quite well. You can see your pin, where you're going to put your pins in the chambers, and it fits perfectly. Fits it both ways if needs be. But yeah, it's a great little addition, and I found it's helped me a lot trying to repin locks, well, reassemble locks. Sorry. One thing I've always struggled with is getting the pins back in the Bible, especially if you've got a 6-pinner. It's a bit difficult, or it can be a bit difficult. So yeah, a disassembly kit is essential. You can't really do it, well, you can't do that without it. And you want to make as less mistakes as possible, the least amount of mistakes as possible, because I've made plenty along the way gutting. Also, you will need yourself a little pinning tray. So I won this in Keybeards giveaway just before Christmas, and I love it. It's so small, you can take it, obviously you can take this anyway, it's only small. So you got your pinning tray, and then inside is just spare pins that I've put in there, my shims. This has been the shim that I've used most, which I've used, and that was from one of these, which was like a security tag that you get on a lot of things. You might get them on, my missus gets hers on makeup, or you get them on, you used to be able to get them on DVDs, CDs, but that's where I get my shims from. That is basically what that is. But yeah, as soon as I started using shims, which a lot of people told me, I remember Crow Llama, my good friend, telling me I need to shim, and I got a shim, and the game changed, I'll be honest. So you need shims for sure. Put that back in there, and you need a pinning tray or a pinning mat, whichever. Also, which is essential for making pins, some files. So I've got a couple of needle file sets here, and this is all I use really. So I've got a real fine small set that I think I paid about £6 off Amazon. These are really good, I really like them. And then I've got also these are the needle files. They're just another cheap set. There was probably only about £5 or £6 I bought them a while ago. They all stay together, so keep them together. And what I've also been using is an old hacksaw and a couple of files. These are what I've been using mainly for when I've been making some picks. Another essential when you're using the rotary tool is some goggles or safety glasses. And then finally, I'm just going to show you. So this rotary tool that you see isn't actually mine. It's my brother-in-law's, who he's lent it me until I can afford to get my own. But he's not been using it. So, but this is the set that it comes with. I mean, you ain't going to need anything else in there. Obviously, all these are the ones that I mainly use, and some of these for engraving, which is something I really quite enjoy doing, actually, engraving the locks. But yeah, as a rule, I know it looks fabulous stuff, but it's not actually that much stuff really. So you've got your rotary tool, your lock disassembly kit, your files, hacksaw blades, whatever you need, pinning tray, screwdrivers, and Allen keys. These are just for when especially if you're working on padlocks, and you can gut them. You can usually get down the shackle. So I'll show you what I mean. So like, for example, on this Master 921D, you can get, that's an Allen screw though. I actually tried to disassemble this morning, and the Allen screw seems to have rounded off. I don't have one that fits it, which is unfortunate, because I was going to attempt to see if I could beat Lock Saga's speed pick world record on this lock. But I'm going to have to try and find some smaller Allen keys. But in order to get the record, you need to pick it, obviously bait the record, the speed pick, and then you have to gut it all in one take. And as my gutting hasn't been up to standards up until this point, I haven't tried it, but this morning I thought, oh, I'm going to give that a go. However, I wanted to practice disassembling it before I did the actual pick, and I couldn't get an Allen screw to fit, so I'll have to invest in another set. But yeah, I just really wanted to look, because obviously I've just got into challenge locks. I'm going to be putting up a 4-part series in the next week or so of a challenge lock build. My first, well, not my first challenge lock build, but my first recorded challenge lock build. But yeah, it's not, there's not a lot to it realistically, and if you've been in lock sport for a minute, the chances are you've already got this. Most people will have Allen keys and screwdrivers in their house day to day anyway. Files, not hard to come by. You can get them from your local hardware or tool shop, so that or Amazon. Same with the pinning trays. There's plenty of places like 44 Delta. I mean, I think every lock manufacturer does some form of pinning tray with their picks. And then finally, just the Dremel, which, I mean, obviously is going to be probably the most expensive. Though you could probably get a Dremel good enough, or a rotary tool good enough for the job, but probably for under £30. Yeah, the most expensive probably would be the disassembly kit, but most of us, like I say, will already have that if you've been picking for a while. Even if you just got into it, most people get a lock pick disassembly kit or lock disassembly kit, because they want to start gutting locks, and they want to start playing with the locks properly. And to be honest, I've had so much more enjoyment since I've had the confidence to start getting into locks. I'm fortunate that I've got a lot of half Euro cylinders that I bought off eBay. I've got loads of rim cylinders, lots of them with keys. So I've just been using the locks that I've got, basically stock locks, I suppose that would be called. But yeah, this is the main kit that you'll need, and there's not a lot to it, and you can have absolutely hours of fun. I can probably spend 2 or 3 hours on a challenge lock and feel like 10 minutes, because I'm so into it and I'm just so engrossed in what I'm doing. But yeah, if you're planning on starting to make challenge locks, which I really would say to people you should try, because it's so much fun. I'm not a very creative person when it comes to mechanics or tools or anything like that. Not really, not until I got into lock sport, but I absolutely love making challenge locks. So this is the kit that you will need, or the basic kit that you will need if you want to start making challenge locks. So I urge anyone who's been thinking about it, try and get some of these tools together and have a crack. Hopefully people will see this and realise there's not a lot to making them. There's not really a lot of tools, screwdrivers, files, and a rotary tool realistically. But yeah, that's it from me today. Hope everyone enjoyed that one, my little challenge lock tool set, the challenge lock build incoming. I hope everyone has an amazing day. See you later.